Welcome back to Bear Down, part of the Coach Steve Show. We're here to talk about the Bears and their disappointing loss to the Colts, and then their upcoming game versus the Rams and the offensive guru Sean McVay going against the defensive guru Matt Eberflus. So, Zach, few days removed. Do we still feel sick from this loss? Because I know I did.
I mean, I watched the full game finally just today. I was actually on the road and I couldn't watch it at the time. So I finally got to sit down, watch the whole thing. And as expected, it was a winnable game. Indianapolis had every chance given away to Chicago to secure a win. Defensively did what they needed to do. And I think that's what sucks is that is a winnable contest that we let slip through our fingers that felt like we never really got into. And here we are once again, except, and we'll get into this a bit more, I thought the offense in the second half finally found something I want to see from it. You know, I think there are finally the pieces that I think make the best offense available that we saw on Sunday. And I'm going to go and lead in with this, Steve. I think Roschon Johnson won himself some more opportunities.
Yes, that was something I was going to get into as we start to discuss what they need to do with the Rams, but I cannot agree more. And we're not the only ones. That is a hot topic of discussion.
Did we miss on paying DeAndre Swift?
And
that's the thing going around now.
We might have. And watching the film, I almost agree with that statement because I would have to go back in time and watch Swift with the Eagles and see if this is the same Swift that they had, and we were just, I don't even know. But a lot to discuss as quickly as we possibly can.
Yep.
Because at least for me, I'm old. So, it's 8:20 Central Time. It's past my bedtime. Bedtime's probably like 7:30 because I am old. But we'll get into all that. I tweeted this, and I want to know if you agree with me. I said, it's like watching the Bears play the Bears as I was watching this game.
So true. It's absolutely what it was.
And it was a ferocious game to watch until partway through that second half, like you said. The offense started to slowly figure it out. But once again, they want to blame the offensive line for everything. And so, of course, they did. Caleb Williams had a lot of passing yards, and he was the first Chicago Bear to do it in a very long time.
Yeah.
And so that was nice to see. But in order to get those yards, he had to throw it 52, 54 times. So the question for everybody is, can the Bears find success when the quarterback has to throw it 50 plus times? That's the new NFL norm, I guess. But I don't even know if Tom Brady was throwing it that much. They found different ways to move the ball, but I don't know if the Bears are going to be able to find success if Caleb Williams is forced to pass it that many times. He did at USC. He would pass it a lot. But in the NFL, I don't know if he's going to last. And we're going to have success if that's what we have come down to. And I tell you what, I haven't minded the screens until that game. The certain screens
that was the game that brought you over the edge?
That was the game right there. I don't know why it took that long. I finally started tweeting and I said, there's another screen. There's a dumb screen. I even had a dumb tweet. I said, this is the drive that Caleb Williams will throw a touchdown pass, and I think he threw an interception. And I said, I was young and dumb back then. But it was, that first half was bad for both teams. Besides our defense. Our defense, I'm all over the place. I feel bad for our defense. People are talking about how this is like a Super Bowl contending type defense of how they play, which who would have thought we would have said that coming into the season, knowing about their D-line and stuff like that. But people are saying like it is a top tier defense, and I feel really bad for them because they're doing typical Chicago Bears. They're doing everything they can, and the offense just can't seem to keep up. And the defense keeps putting us in good spots, making stops. They got the 2 turnovers, one in the end zone and one earlier. They're forcing the Colts to punt. They're tackling Richardson pretty well. They're making him move.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing what they're supposed to do. And the offense just can't get out of their own way.
What are you going to do? I tell you, it kills me even after the game this week. Like, because the media is now pressing Shane Waldron even more and more about the personnel decision making and the play calling, and it's only going to keep going up because I think I think I think if he hasn't been introduced to the Chicago market when it gets frustrated, he did this week.
It only took 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think people are finally like, I don't know. I'm not saying it didn't start yet, but I think now like the full discourse is, hey, what's your game plan again? You know, what's your personnel decision making? Because like, we're all sitting there and watching this game play out. And if we're talking personnel, again, I've been talking for 3 weeks now that they're better just running it up the gut, pounding the rock, getting a power back set up and a guy and more decisive hits to where it's like you can have these guys just charge ahead, take on blockers. And I think Roschon Johnson to me proved that. Plus, here's the deal. I thought they weren't using him because he can't catch. Well, he caught 4 times and got 32 yards off receiving. So tell me, why aren't they using him more? Like, seems like a very prototypical running back that we should be using over Khalil Herbert and possibly on a 50-50 split with DeAndre Swift if we're going to do Thunder and Lightning. Because he showed out and played.
Right. And I don't mean to cut you off, but later on in the game, they got into empty. They put DeAndre Swift out at a receiver like he was like the number 2 receiver, and he caught a pass and made a nice move.
Oh, and that's why, and I see that's fine. He can run routes like a receiver.
But that's why, like, why can't you line him up out there and put Johnson in the backfield? Like, put Rojo in the backfield. Like, why can't we do that? Why can't we?
Unless Keenan Allen being gone that week is another like, oh, well, we want to do that, but we can't just put everybody out there.
And you know how each team has an identity. Like when stuff hits the fan, this is what they're going to revert to.
Mm-hmm.
Like the good teams.
Yeah.
The Bears don't have one. Like you don't know what their identity is because are they a passing team? Are they going to get an empty and trips and spread and just pass it all over the place? They can try, but I don't think that's not going to be great success because you have a rookie wide receiver. You have a banged up Keenan Allen who's supposed to come back, but he is banged up.
Yeah. That's
Colt
right.
Kmet finally showed up this game. They finally started getting him the ball. Then if you're passing all over the place, you're going to put a lot of pressure on your rookie quarterback to like, now you have to really read defenses. Now you really have to get the ball out quick. And I watched the film and I'm sick and tired of them blaming the O-line. I am sick and tired of it because there were times they blocked well. There was times they pass protected well. Caleb Williams missed a couple guys wide open. He overthrew some guys.
He did.
He played much better in the second half. I totally agree with people on that, but I'm sick and tired of watching them blame like one specific group. I blame the play calling. I blame Caleb Williams in the first half missing some guys. And I blame how DeAndre Swift just runs into blockers. Like he literally just runs into them.
There was some pretty, I'm not, 4th and 12 is a whole mess. I don't look at that, but yeah, you're talking about a guy that either runs into blockers or doesn't like running north-south. Like, he's runs more east-west. He likes running east-west across the field. But again, we talk personnel, I think it goes hand in hand. We saw it on Sunday. They're better when it's between the tackles running and you're just getting someone barreling down, make a decision, hit the hole, and trust that the center guards or tackles, wherever you're going inside the tackles, opens it up. Helmet on helmet. We saw that. I mean, it wasn't like 100% fantastic. It's not like they ran for like 100 plus yards and did like a Jonathan Taylor, but you saw glimpses of it when they allowed that play style to play out. Again, Roschon almost averaged 4 yards a clip.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the day when he was in. I was like, great. He's breaking off chunks. We should keep leaning on him. But they put investment. This is where we get into like football economics. They've invested in Swift. They're paying him $24 million over 3 years, Steve. Like they kind of have to use him.
That's why I brought up last week. Do you think we're running all the zone stuff because that's who Swift is and he's not the downhill runner? And I think after the Colts game, that's kind of what is starting to prove more and more to itself is that He is a inside zone. I want to make a cut. I want to get away from people. They did that toss play where I thought DJ Moore was blocking really well. It runs into his back and those different type of stuff. And times they try to run like it's hard to tell sometimes. I'd like to say it's duo, and duo is your type of run play. We're going to double team, get downhill, read the mic, and wherever he goes, you go opposite because it's a downhill run play. I couldn't tell if it was inside zone or that because they were doing out of shotgun. And it's hard to tell when it's out of shotgun. When they're under center, it's easier to read. But when they're in shotgun, to me, I'm like, okay, it must be inside zone, I guess, or whatever. But he literally ran into like the lineman's back. The only time you should ever do that is if there's absolutely nowhere else to go. But his first thing was run into the back and try to cut. Well, he gets tackled. And Johnson, they ran inside zone with him, and he found that little crease, and he got like 8 yards. And it's like, he might be the guy. And we could talk about it all over Twitter and all over other people. That's what they're talking about right now is, should he get more reps? Is he going to be the running back? And now we're having a Montgomery-Herbert situation again, where, like, but put both of them at the same time. Put both of them at the same time. Swift can be in the backfield with him, motion Swift down and throw up a screen. Maybe you do hand it off to Swift and you fake it to Roschon. Like, there's so many things that you can do. And this is just coming from my aspect. Maybe they can't, but just me thinking, like, why can't you? You're in the, like, and now I'm starting to question. And then all over Twitter, you mean to tell me we hired this guy over Cliff Kingsbury who could come up with some of this stuff?
Well, I mean,
and look what he's doing at Washington with Daniels at quarterback.
Again, look, we talk Waldron. Whole reputation is about kind of transformative type of offense and QB development. So I more have been disappointed. Like, QB is one thing or not. I personally am going to lean onto the camp of, I've seen Williams get better every week. I'm in that camp. As much as there have been misses, I'm in that camp. But the run game, that's what disappoints me so much. Again, it's not like the personnel's changed much in the last 2 years on the line or in the backfield even too much. This is a top 2 run offense. That basically screams personnel and play call decision making right there. You can't tell me this team with the near same people, and credit, Nate Davis was out, not on the field in this game. But even then, this is the same squad that has been getting number 1 rush offense 2 years ago, number 2 last year. You can't tell me they can't do it again with the same folks. That comes down to decisions being made on where the calls are going and how they structured the certain packages that go on the field for this year.
Right. This is the only time I've seen Swift run downhill. Was this play. They're running their zone. He sees that big cut, puts his head down. I think that was the only time.
Yeah, and good. You see they crash the left side of the line down. That's what I like. That's what I like. Open the gap up,
This is the way to run zone. This is perfect. Boom, boom, boom. You guys are here to here. You got to try to cut him off. You got to try to cut him off.
Mm-hmm.
Run this way. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I thought Cole Kmet could have blocked better, but they got like 3 yards on that. 3 yards.
Speaking of Cole Kmet, any time I hear Cole Kmet brought up with that is based on a block, it always ends bad.
Like right there, he just catches him. This guy pushes off, and who makes the tackle? That guy.
Mm-hmm.
This is a tough block.
Now here's what I find funny though. Yeah. Never mind. I was going to say something else, but yeah, the whole collapses in a little bit. It still gets 4 yards on that carry?
Yeah, and I'm okay. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
and this is a bad Caleb Williams throw right here.
They always teach you 4 yards in a play, and you can get anything done on offense.
This was bad. I'm like, what the hell's that?
Yeah,
like what the hell are you doing here? Just miscommunication. But I want everybody to look at the O-line. This is beautiful pass protection. So quit blaming the O-line every single time.
You got that one out really quick. I don't know if it looks like it's supposed to be a back shoulder, but like completely was not ready for it or something.
Great. Fantastic.
Yeah, this was was that one earlier in the game?
This is the first drive.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because the game started with a bunch of these out routes, just really quick dump off type, or really quick dumps to the sideline,
Great. And Cole Kmet got me like 28 points in my fantasy. So
I say Komet did great. Odunze, I think this might have been a moment moving forward of like that
Rojan
trusting
Johnson,
relationship.
look at that.
Oh, yeah. You see what and credit first drive, but I mean, watch. So this is under center. This is single back.
This is why I can't tell if it's inside zone or duo, because normally he'd go up the other way.
But here's what I love about this play. Watch. You've got guys going up to second level. It is putting helmet on helmet. It's getting up there, moving bodies out of the way. There's no worries about trying to find a hole or looking for a hole for part of the time, going to the outside. And this is what the Bears offensive line has done best with this group through 2 years. Do this.
I think this is duo the more I look at it, because they're looking for double teams all over the place.
Right. And I'm not saying every run's going to be the 7 or 8 yards, but this is what these guys have done best.
Well, and then
not to mention, remember, DeForest Buckner's not there in this game. So they decided to inconsistently not go towards the weakness on the line.
Well, and then the whole game plan I thought would be to run the ball because the Packers did it.
Well, yeah. Again, they had incentive. 2 straight weeks, they had runners that had gone 120 plus yards.
Now they put Johnson in for this play. Like they run wide zone. He's not that guy. He's a downhill runner.
Right. You're not going to get that speed to the edge. And that's what happened right there.
Well, he should have went to the outside.
Plus you see right here. Yeah, go to the play again. Yeah, how's the center going to get to that linebacker?
Right.
Peel that off.
Like, again, I
run wide zone. The leverage is already gone. You're not going to get there.
I run wide zone in high school. So, like, he's here. He can punch and get here. He gets here. The center's supposed to just run flat. He's not supposed to run at him. He's supposed to go this way and then try to cut him off.
That's tough.
It is tough.
For any big boy, even the most professional big boys, that's a tough block.
Like, it's tough, but like technically, but see, here's what ruins this. Who's our right guard?
There you go.
He gets blown backwards.
No leverage underneath.
No, because
he plays this almost like a pass play. You see how he only sets up and is ready to take in contact?
Well, I would yell at my high school kids because like his step is great, but his hips have to be pointed this way.
Mm-hmm.
Because you want your head to get across.
Yeah, look at everybody else. You see how you're talking the hips?
Yeah, and then
he's playing like a pass. He's got it straight up where it's like trying to maintain that section.
I just worked on this today with my kids actually because we ran wide zone terrible yesterday, so I did it today. We worked on it. This hand gets there. This hand is supposed to punch this armpit, and you're supposed to get your head across. See, like this angle's great. That angle's great.
Mm-hmm.
He's going like straight ahead. And I told him on wide zone, when you get even with them, this is what I tell my kids, and you tell me if this makes sense. When you're even with them right now, when we're supposed to go this way, this guy can win because he's going to do one of two things. He can now rip inside and make the play, or he's going to bull rush you. This guy bull rushed him. So if he would have attacked his ribs like he was supposed to, what was supposed to happen then is he could cut this back one of these ways because he's doing a great job. He's doing a great job. So that's what ruined the whole thing. But again, maybe they're not meant to do wide zone, and that's okay.
Quite frankly, what I would I think the D lineman I think played it the best there with the bull rush. Because
that's perfect technique to do against wide zone. You want to bull rush them.
Because you're talking the inside, like say if you were to say you were to cut inside, or like you rip to the inside instead. Well, to me, just thinking about it, you give the running back a chance to respond that you see his face. I feel like with the vision of an RB, if you see the opposite jersey, you can react off that a bit more. It's a little harder when you see only your guys and you're running at a wall with your guys first.
Well, I know this isn't wide zone, but like they read this defender back to this one. If they see blue jersey outside, they know they have to look back here. If they see blue jersey here, they have to cut it back here. If blue jersey's here,
Yeah, because like the last run, I think if he swims inside, you see Roshan cut back in. But that hole didn't close up fast, and it kind of throws the whole play. So
right. Then here we go again. I don't think they're good at inside zone. But Roshan Johnson again. But my thing is, so many people have different philosophies. When I run inside zone, like when I was an OC and we do it in high school, if it's inside zone left, so we're going that way, if you're looking at it this way, we don't block him. And the reason why is because of this right here, because he has to go here. You're going to double team to this backer. You're going to try to double team to this backer, but then who would pick him up? And then if he goes this way, it's hard for him to get, like, it's just so many things can happen.
Yeah, you might leave a free runner, but luckily this one plays out.
But then, and then you risk the D lineman played it really good here. When you get double teamed, you're supposed to try to flip your hip in the hole.
Yep.
And you're supposed to occupy them. His eyes are here. Like he's like, oh, I have to get him. But they get caught up. And then these two are supposed to get him. And they get caught up.
I kind of, and I actually like Hella Paper Sports Channel put in a good comment because now, like, there's also been conversation on the O line coaching.
He was
as a separate talk.
He did a good job for the run game stuff, but now it's like this was that 4th and 1 play, and as soon as he let the ball go, I was like, "What are we doing?" But then it works out.
Well, luckily DJ Moore 1-on-1, I have less worries because
thank God it wasn't a screen.
Yeah, he's fantastic in open field 1-on-1, getting space. So it started off iffy because of DJ. If I see DJ catching a pass like that, I'm a little more confident. Not to say that it did work all the time. It didn't in this game at all.
He only gets like 2 yards on this, but I like this play. But when I saw Cole Kmet going as fullback, I was like, oh, they're going to go downhill. And they don't. But it's blocked well.
Yeah, Cole does a good job sealing there. It's just more eventually pursuit catches up, though, for the others.
I hated this play.
Yeah,
this play was so stupid.
No. It's too cute. It's too predictable. Again, they've done 2 straight weeks in a row of like many of these screens like this.
And this guy, and he forgot to play because watch, they run into each other. They're supposed to step, go. And he forgets.
Oh, yep, sure enough.
So that's kind of what.
Yeah, looks like Darnell Wright wasn't on it.
But I also don't like them running this way. What they should do is pass that 1, 2, take off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them running opposite, turning around. And like, even if he did remember, he wouldn't have gotten there.
Right. I mean, and that comes to play design. They're trying to make it look like the whole line's flowing to one side to get them off. And then once they can hopefully leak out as the ball's thrown, all those or the majority of that personnel's on the right on their line. Yeah, that was an overthrow, escaping it, trying to get rid of it. Kind of looked like college Caleb Williams right there a little bit, trying to get that awkward angle. Just overthrew it.
Extra yards. They stun over here.
Yep.
I mean, the line that's doing what they're supposed to do.
No, I mean, it's fine. He escaped. He had an alley. He had time.
He's got to plant his foot instead of. But I mean, not a bad throw for doing it like that.
No, and he that's one thing that he's done. It's just he didn't land it. He can do those weird angles.
This was just dumb.
Yeah,
and this reminds me of Justin Fields.
This is probably a better angle because the high rafters angle is not good for this to see it. So
I like to see how long this is. So the ball is snapped. I always do this with my kids. 4:39. And by the time he wants to move, it's 4:42. So it's only 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But
And he's got an alley here, luckily. Tevin Jenkins assists with the edge.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, there's no one in front of his face. He can tell. I'm okay with that.
The only thing I'll say about the O-line is they're giving up a lot of ground when they're pass setting.
Right. Honestly, this one, so I know
Jenkins
watching.
should not have left. Jenkins shouldn't have left.
You don't think so? I mean, there's no one. So, like, here's the thing. There's no one even here. Like, you can even tell in the line. And I know I talked recently how I like not bailing on your position. But you can even see, like, this second level is so far back.
Yeah.
That in that instance, it's okay, I think, to chip. If there's, like, still if you can still tell there's a lot of activity going on, plus you got that 3-second rule. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm being a hypocrite. Chat, let me know. But
I don't know what that flag was for. I forget. But Swift back in, the guy we got to pay all this money to. Caleb Williams cans the play to the second one he called.
Not sure what that flag is. Can't remember.
I don't remember either. It doesn't matter. Draw.
Yeah.
It's okay. Cole Kmet blocks really well. That's a hard block to make. Run all the way to the middle of the field, and
that wasn't too bad.
D-line read it well. D-line saw it coming. I gotta give credit to the Colts defense. They read a lot of stuff in the first half, did pretty well. Has a pocket, gets a pass interference call. Yep. Fantastic. So you have these little glimpses of hope here where it's great pass protection, gets it, pass interference. Fantastic.
Not good.
Hands the play. And we're right back to DeAndre Swift trying to get downhill. Same play as earlier. Exactly. They're almost in the same formation.
Couldn't get anything in the second level. That's the thing right there.
And we're getting bull rushed again.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the Colts line played better than I thought they would.
Yeah, I mean, not too bad.
I'm just trying to see if he has a
cutback a little bit here.
I always like to see if he has a cutback.
Mm-hmm.
This play I saw in college right before they ran this. It's a double slip.
Yep.
I saw a college team run this. So they're running inside zone up front, then they get a double slip. And Caleb Williams is just impatient.
I mean, this one, you're basically trying to react to who gets open at a certain point in the
they're reading. He's reading this guy. So I always run this as an RPO. If that guy just sits there like that, you hand it off because you got a defender here and you got a defender here. If you hand it off, you get better chance. Then you got to get depth and somehow get here.
Well, I think to be honest with you, the dump off's right there.
Yeah.
But he also has someone in his face the entire time.
Yeah, but we run this in high school. Like, Swift's got to turn his head around immediately. If he would have had it turned around here, he probably could have caught the ball and made something pretty.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't know the scheme. I just have to go by what I do. I always like to do it as a RPO because I think if he handed it off, and that's why I run it that way, he'd have a lane.
I mean, not bad edge rush presence here. I think that helps with the pressure, kind of getting him off his back foot a little.
This is on Caleb Williams. I'm sorry.
No, it is. That was reasonable. Actually, can we go back and let me see the receivers? Now, I will say the broadcast, a lot of times they're mentioning that they thought a lot of these plays, the Colts did a great job locking up.
Oh, they did. I don't
this one. I mean, I'll be frank. I mean, who are you throwing to here?
Right.
Not gonna lie, that's pretty good coverage.
That's why they're questioning the scheme.
Mhm.
Now, but again, I have to remind myself too, and I'm glad you said that. Sometimes the defense just does better.
I was gonna
Than
say, like, who are you throwing to here? That's why, because I remember this one in particular. They definitely were like he had nowhere to go, and they
right,
definitely locked up man coverage really well there.
right. So I mean, you can't be mad about it. They even covered the running back pretty well.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, he just basically saved the sack. So you know,
Yeah, so good for him. But people are going to blame the O line, and that's what I hate about that. And that's why I like watching the film because we're going to blame the O line. Quick pass.
hmm and that's like, it's weird to say that that's the best route the Bears have in their arsenal right now. Is that they just seem to have
It
done it
is.
so well through 3 weeks? Is the out route?
I like this.
That's
That's
the type of
Bears
Roshan.
football.
Those are the type of Roshan runs I like, because again, I think that I think the line does the best job when it's stuff like this.
Yeah, they're
Just
getting hat on
just
hat. They
play
good double
hat
team.
on hat,
Love it.
bully up to the second level, and
It's
then let your
fantastic.
big
Oh,
girl with
look, I formation.
hey, yeah, except it's out to the outside.
And then they do this shit
That's what I'm saying. It's like, hey, I formation, just you sweep out, you know.
with receivers that can't block.
The more I've watched them play recently, too, like I get their screens, and this is part of the problem with screens you and I have talked about. The receivers they have are not great for the stuff they want to do,
No.
and that is not helping some of these like outside pitches, these screenplays. Like, you have to be able to block if you're going to do it. And receivers, it's like 40-60 if you got a good receiver that can block
Now,
as well.
they go empty, and I always, every time they get an empty, I get excited because they usually do well. The receivers are locked up really
Mhm.
good. And look, he stares down this way. Can you
Yep.
tell what he wants to do with it? There's
Oh
an
yeah.
out route. That's where he
Yep.
wanted to go. And again, so this goes back to like Justin Fields. I used to say this and this rookie stuff. Is he getting told where to throw it to? Like, hey, snap the ball, throw it here. Because I watched the other receivers, they are all pretty much locked up except for two. I think he's open, and I think he's open. Everybody else is covered. He's covered. He's going to be covered because he's here and the
Mhm.
safety's here. He's right there. But if you watch Caleb Williams, all he does is stare over there. Then he does that, and he's like, "Oh shit, it's not open."
Yep. Can't throw it if you got no one there.
And what's everybody going to say? Well, the O line's in his face. But like, if he was doing a true progression, like, "Oh, that's not going to be there," flip your head around and look for the next one.
Mm.
I'm not saying the O line didn't do great, but you see how he doesn't even want to try to throw it.
Yeah, I mean, but you do. Yeah, I don't know how many. What's the time between here to when he realizes he does not have that out route open? That's what I want to see as well.
So he has the ball at 9:33. 9:35. So in 2 seconds.
So that's 2 seconds.
So, but again,
And with
did the line get told that it's a quick pass? That's the other thing people don't understand is that line get told certain pass protections. I
I
have
know.
them.
Mm-hmm.
When you
Oh,
get
we
told
definitely know.
when you get told a certain one, that means it's probably a quick game because you don't have the running back in to help you. When the running back stays to help or the tight end stays to help you, it's a longer pass play.
You were talking earlier about depth. How that was a problem with like depth and protection.
Yeah,
Darnold
like
right here. Pretty disappointing rep here, honestly. Even if you want to talk timing, I mean, he got bullied.
well, he's standing up very tall and he's lunging. His back isn't straight. And then Jenkins is getting bull rushed.
Mm-hmm. But he see how at least they hand that one off. He's trying to go help, but by the time he does, it's too late. I mean,
But see, this is where I think, and I'm overcoaching this, it's hard to do in the game. Slide your feet this way. You know what I mean? like shuffle that way. But the reason why he doesn't is because you can see his head. He's staring this way.
He wants that
He
route
goes to
over
pump
there.
fake and he goes, "Oh,
Mhm.
it's not there."
And so then
So I
that's when
think
he
if he
goes into scramble mode. But by that time, you got the tackles collapsing in
so
on
right
you.
there, like, okay, it's not there. Churn this way. You'll see you can shuffle this way and look
Mhm.
to throw it. Because again, if you go back to this full one, right there when he goes to throw it, I can already tell this would be open. He would be open. Or if this guy drops back, which he does,
It opens it completely. There's no one to cover
if
here.
he flips his head or if he flips his hips and head around, boom or boom. And I don't know if that's the progression. I can't say. I would love to tell you that's what it is, but to me, that's what it would be because when you stare someone down like that and then you don't have it, you're like, oh shit. Oh, here's another screen.
I've at least got a few, but still, just let's see this one play out. So that one they actually use the motion to set it up.
Yeah. Whatever. I knew that was going to happen at some
Mhm.
point.
A lot more play action this game I noticed than recent
Yep.
games. That was on the perfectly
This was
placed pass.
awesome.
Yeah, that was right out of the into the second half to kick things off.
I think this was right after the turnover, wasn't it?
Yes, because it was a pick. Or wait a minute, this is still first half. Sorry, right? Yeah.
No, second half.
Is this
Or second quarter, sorry.
Yes, I was like, it's not the end of the half. This was after the interception though.
Like awesome. I'm like, all right, good. Play action under center. They kept 6 to 7 into pass set.
Mm-hmm.
Khalil Herbert, good run there.
And again, Herbert, another very more decisive runner, used to going in between the tackles.
They go on balance to the right. Nice block by Carter.
It's a great cut too. Did a great job cutting in that hole.
I did not like this play at all.
I mean,
you haven't ran.
I know they were trying to do like kind of like a fake jet sweep that I was seeing there.
Yeah, but you haven't ran jet all game, so why are they going to fall for this?
Well, and you're running jet with a running bag.
Now,
I don't know. I just like to me, if I'm a defensive, if I'm playing defense, I'm like, that's not a play they usually run.
Now this is my thinking. Do you know who's open right now?
Right there. Yep. I was to say, if I had that mouse, I'm seeing it. I'm looking at it.
This is Caleb Williams being a rookie.
Yeah.
He panicked because he saw that end. But like that end's not even close. That end is putting his hands up 5 yards away. Like you see that end unblocked, stop, get your feet set. They're freaking out because he's here.
And this is what kills me. His head.
He's looking that way.
Is looking in this direction. I wonder if he was looking for Komet and didn't like
which
what he saw from Komet.
Which is fine. Clement's not open because you got a safety up here.
Right. Because I mean, there's only two people you can see in that direction. And if you didn't like Komet and you didn't have enough time for DJ, you're going to throw it away.
So Adam Hogue, is this the whole line's fault or is this Caleb Williams' fault? Just let me know, Adam Hogue.
To be fair, this block is something that's a shed block from a Romo Dunze is what leads to this pressure.
Which, look at this. Again, which is why I wonder if he was supposed to stop and like keep running this way.
I mean, ideally, that would have helped actually get some yards. But,
right. If he would have kept running this way, he could have been open, but he's open.
I mean, because unless Rome tries to attempt a better block, you're essentially giving a free rusher there for a fake jet sweep.
And you know who that is? Oh God! Now we got to start over.
Oh, you got to go hunt it down again.
Yeah, because it's one giant clip.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Do you know who that is? That's open. DJ Moore.
DJ Moore. Yeah, it's DJ Moore.
So this is Caleb Williams being a rookie. Okay, we can live with that. Just don't blame other people. It's Caleb Williams being a rookie. And I'm okay with it. Pocket.
Intercept. And bad throw. Now this one, I'm glad we got here. So the out of the two interceptions, I was upset that I watched. This was the one that upset me the most. And it's because, and you'll see it when we get in the behind the center shot, he stares this down. It's
Yep.
very predictable for a ball hawk.
Now, covered.
If
Maybe.
he lets it go now, it's open.
But do you see somebody wide open with tons of grass?
True. I know.
Throw it to the hot route. You're getting pressure.
That's your dump off.
Like, this is what pisses me off. I tell our quarterback that too. Like, oh, you don't like anything? There's a reason why he's gone.
And it's not to say this wasn't open on the side, but you have to throw it as soon as he turned his hip.
Right.
And he gave another at least second for where you got Jackson going, oh, clearly he's looking this way.
Right. But you're right. He stares us down just like he did earlier.
That's exactly why this gets picked. He's looking the entire time in the pocket. He looks at him. Like, no wonder the DB gets there. He's taking a chance, but that chance is pretty obvious.
And he should be scooting up like that. See how he's scooting up?
Mm-hmm.
He needs to turn and keep his feet chopping. They're chopping. Stay there, stay there, stay there. And then you run into your tackle, which doesn't help, but you stared it down.
Yeah, no, I mean, this was very, like I said, he looked at him the entire time. That was a good play by the DB to recognize that he's only looking at one guy.
I hate this play where you fake the jet and then try to get to wide zone. It just takes too long.
Well, you know what really kills me
is that it's wide zone.
No. Funny. No, look at this, though. So the handoff's right. This, to me, comes down to RB vision.
Well, and also, look at number 79.
I know. The block to the second level is not good either. This is a whiff. This is a whiff of epic proportions. But, I mean, hey, if I'm seeing blue in front of me,
like, Swift did the right thing. He's supposed to cut it.
I think you could. I mean, maybe I'm being overanalyzing the film, but there's a cutback lane.
Yeah,
for a few more yards.
He tried. If we would have got this block here, he would have kept going.
No, definitely was a missed block, though. This is the catalyst for that failure right there.
Shit, did it again.
Oh, you did a good job getting back to it, though.
That's why I put these notes on there.
Nice.
So it tells me where I left off. This is why I like Huddle.
Huddle's good.
Huddle's good. This is why this is right here.
Just ran right. That's the one that like everyone points to. Is he just ran straight into a wall.
And look, he tiptoes. This is high school stuff. He tiptoes. Look, bounce, bounce, bounce.
I mean, this is what you're designed. This is where I like shifty running backs is, hey, you can bounce this from a blob.
But see, I don't understand this play. I never understand this. Caleb Williams is turning to run inside zone, but he's like staring this guy like he's reading him, but they're blocking him.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it. To fix this, read him. If he comes flying in, Caleb, just run and slide. This is why I don't understand when people block inside zone like this. But again, the linemen aren't really doing their job, I don't think.
Well, they're playing it.
So
and I don't mean one of my problems with this type of play.
Right.
Because if you can't move them to the left or right, you are just basically stuck in your lane. There are no lanes then.
Right.
There's no upward movement. You aren't driving off the ball because they're trying to mimic that it's a pass play.
When I teach inside zone, it's you're here. He's a plus because we're going to the left. So who's more important? He is. Who's responsible for him? Well, front side. So you two got to figure this out. If you're going to send him there, which is fine, if they're responsible, that means you two are responsible for him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, since I'm a high school coach and I'm dumb, to fix this, I go, you're here. He's the plus. You two figure it out. If not, one of you two will figure it out. So if he shows up to their spot, you figure it out. He comes down, you figure it out. You go cut him off. Quarterback reads this guy because if he just stands there, he's out of the play anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He comes flying down, quarterback keep it and run.
I mean, you gotta get. Here's what kills me: you have to get someone in some place has to get in that A gap and opening. You know,
But also
and
he
it just doesn't
tiptoes
open.
too.
Yeah,
So like right
yes,
here, so running backs have this choice in inside zone. They can bang, they can bend it, they can bounce it. So right there, he should just put his foot down and went. Run that guy over and get yards. But he didn't want to.
tough
Like you have
decision.
to put your foot down.
Tough decisions, man.
And we'll stop watching film soon, but I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
this was fine. Roshan Johnson with a catch.
And
I'm totally fine with
again,
this.
I thought this game proved that if there was any doubt about Roshan's catching ability, he's fine. He can get these. He's just slower than Herbert or Swift. That's the main thing. He's a power back.
Right, but if he
He's
can
not
do
going to
that,
outrun you. He's going to bully you. That's what he's built for.
but if he's going to do that, you got to find him some playing time. Play action. They kept guys in to block.
Yep, that was a great pass, by the way. That was like
Great
that one
pass.
was. Mm-hmm.
I don't think Odunze got enough credit. I thought he played well. But look, they kept so many people to block.
If Odunze didn't get enough credit, I'd be surprised. That was a breakout game for him. Like
I mean, for me, I should.
Okay.
But they kept 8 guys in to block.
Yeah. Well, if you as long as you get separation and the receiver's open, then you get protection, I guess. But
now this was the one screen that looked like it was going to work, and he dropped it. Now it was a rocket pass.
Yeah.
Like awesome. They got it blocked.
And it would have worked. You had everyone covered up.
Well, I mean, they didn't run a screen for 8 plays, so they had to call one.
Of course. It's been Shane Waldron's bread and butter. You got to call a screen at some point.
I'm curious to see if he stares at this out again. I'm very curious if he's just looking. He is.
I mean, he didn't like start the play with it, but he did at least. He was going to go there. You could tell he's trying to look someone off.
So Caleb Williams has really got to work on that. Stupid.
That was, and this is one of my. I hated this one.
Carter just made it look better.
Right. Because here's the deal. Again, you got to have the right personnel for that stuff. You know, like luckily Carter was able to shed it, but most of the time that they've been running these like one-on-one, like 2 receiver out screens like this, they don't work because the block is terrible.
Oh, is this the drive that leads to the speed option?
I think so.
This is on Caleb Williams. Why are you throwing into triple coverage?
Yeah, let's see how the start happens. I wonder. We'll talk again. Was this the primary route? Because it sure looks like it.
Yeah, he's staring it down.
I mean, it definitely looks like that was where he was going to go, no matter what.
And the running back got caught up. I think.
But then you see as well. Here's the other reason why it's triple coverage. Why you got 2 route runners in the same space? That doesn't help either.
No.
Like you can't have both of them going to the same corner.
Now,
if you're going to call that.
Do you know who's open right now?
Yeah, I see right in the middle up top. Honestly,
where'd my mouse go?
The opposite side actually has 2 options. One of them's more 50-50, but the middle of the field's pretty wide open because if you look off the safety, you've got that inside post.
He's staring that way the entire time. Now I know he's about to get popped. He's about to.
Oh yeah. But not gonna lie, that if he learns and gets that look offset, Rome's ready to go. That's TD right there.
Right, but you know what? He's doing a great job. If he's got to learn this. He's looking this way, and guess where the safety's going? He's like, oh, he's looking this way.
Well, if the safety's leaving the space, and I know the play, someone's not there. You know.
So some of this is on Caleb Williams. Now I know the pass protection is awful to the right side here. He's about to get killed.
I don't get why Cole's running the same spot too. Unless he was supposed to cut back out and this was an early throw. And I don't know. Because like part of it looks like he was trying to call for a hold, but like something went wrong where like both of them are forcing essentially 3 defenders into the one spot.
We'll stop it after the speed option because then I'll throw up.
That's good. That's good.
Stared it down again.
That one was a good one. Yeah. But you can see that's the same 40's had his number all day at this point. He played the exact same way. He's like, oh, you're looking at him? I'm just going to go after the ball. Now, that was called as a pass interference in game.
Yeah. I wonder if
Even
anybody
though
else
I
is
would say
open,
that was
though.
pretty tight when you watch the film footage.
Now, nobody's open. I mean, well, never mind. I see somebody
The
open.
dump off is if you were to play it right away, but
But he stares it down the whole time. Now, yeah, we got pass interference, good, whatever. But he's just staring people down. Now, I know in the second half he gets better, but these are rookie mistakes. And so, but Nick Saban said it best, expectations can kill a rookie quarterback. Oh, here's another screen. Why are we running those screens on the 15?
That's what I'm telling you. Like, again, you have to have blockers you have to have receivers that are good blockers.
We should have hired Cliff.
Dunze gets his one, but like they know what's coming.
Cliff Kingsbury.
They know what's coming because they run so often.
We should have hired Jim Harbaugh. Oh my God.
You saying about the play or not hiring Jim Harbaugh?
The play. But we should have hired Jim Harbaugh sometime. I wake up at night.
Outside run. Actually, this gets sealed pretty well. Look at it so far. I mean, look at this. Good job, Braxton. Good job, Cole. DJ even has a decent block. And what the hell is Swift doing right there? I think he wants outside, but then he gets indecisive.
Yeah, make a decision. If you're gonna put your foot down and run him over,
that's actually a well-run play for blocks. It could have gone for more yards. He just runs into DJ.
Yeah, make a decision. You only got 2. Put your foot down and run him over, or make him chase you. Like, what the hell are you doing?
And he saves it by getting just a little more off breaking the tackle, but still.
I think even DJ, look at DJ. He's like, what the fuck, man?
Well, yeah, like that could have gone more so, but like I say, he saves it by luckily staying upright, but you could tell that was not good how he ran that ball.
Another out route. Like, are you kidding me?
I'm probably going to guess his only target was Cole. He looks probably right at Cole. Yep. Maybe a little bit.
Oh, I'm curious about this play because I wanted to see it. Sorry.
That's cool. Well, okay. Maybe. Does he cut back out? I didn't. Yeah, he does cut back a little more. Well, he sits down, though. It's a little different than...
Because he already threw it. So he's like, why should I move? I'm over coaching right now, but I'm just looking at that going, those are opportunities as an OC that you got to be able to see. But he stares down Cole Kmet the whole time.
You also have Roshan who breaks out, and credit, he's like the last resort, but and again, this is a completion, so it's fair, but it's also just like get the ball out, get the ball out.
You gotta get the first down. I'm okay with this.
Well, yeah, they 4th and inches. They just wanted to get the rock.
And look who's not in. Swift. They're like, oh hell no.
Yeah, bring in the sledgehammer. And so they did. Brought in the sledgehammer.
Lyman covered people up. They knew they were going to pinch inside. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah. It's not a big run. It gets the job done.
Wildcat I wasn't a fan of, but you tried it.
Didn't want to see that coming, and
I mean, you tried it. Whatever. Yeah. It's okay.
And at least you at least know Herbert's going to hit the hole and hit it 100%.
Now, here's my problem. I'm not an under center person.
Oh, no.
I don't like under center.
I know what drive this is.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to stop it. But this is what you chose. Inside zone. And you're an NFL team.
Yeah, he really likes running these in goal line situations. Even though they have clearly shown they got packages for under center, heavier set packages.
Oh, see, this was actually a read, so they're doing what I wanted. You see how Cole Kmet doesn't block this guy?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to block here. He's running to block here. Caleb should have pulled this ball. And now, I know he sat there, so he handed it off. But he's staring inside. So, like, I know it's tough for a quarterback. Look, he's staring inside. If you keep it and run and you got blockers, you should be more athletic than him.
Yeah.
I understand why he handed it off, but still.
Repercussions of wanting to not run as much.
So they tried again from shotgun.
See, it's one thing to run one play. It's another to run the exact same damn thing near and expect it to work again.
From shotgun.
From shotgun.
And
No
without,
goal
like,
line at the 1 yard line, just runs a shotgun from the 1.
oh God, here it is. Then we'll stop.
Yep.
Oh my
And
God, here it is.
the play that has made the internet laugh.
Holy shit. The O-line's on the ground.
Yep. Whole line gets shedded.
Why would you run a speed option from pistol?
Again, 4th and 1. Do you
So,
not
Zach,
have goal line packages?
our high school
this.
team runs pistol. Like this. The way they're lined up, that's what we look like.
Yep.
But all of our stuff is wide zone, toss. We'll motion somebody, hand it off to the motion guy. If we run speed option, he stands here. So that way he can run depth. We can run this way. Not running this way.
Yeah, I mean, you're given a lot. I mean,
so imagine if he was already right here and they're running right here.
I mean, I'm just fascinated that the entire line
is on the ground.
How does that happen? I mean, that's perfect. Like,
oh shit, I did it again.
I mean, it's either, to me, that's either you have it where it's a complete and utter failure at the play design, or that defense somehow perfectly got all those shedded blocks done right.
And it's 4th down.
Let me see this here. Watch this. So, oh my God. So Coleman Shelton's supposed to go up in the second level. And then,
Jenkins.
Oh my God, it's a train wreck. Oh my, yeah, look at this. Both of those, Jones and Jenkins, get shedded. They both whiff on these blocks hardcore.
Oh, it's so bad.
And then the edge was already sealed either way. Like, look, there's no, like, this was already going to get sealed. No way that was going to have anyone getting outside to get that.
So what they should have done, and I'm overcoaching it, is send them this way. Swift stands here. So that way these guys are seeing flow, so they move. Not that far, but they'll move.
Or, and again, maybe I'm misunderstanding from just what I remember from playing, audible to the opposite side.
Or that way, like, hey,
you have personnel strength to the opposite. I mean, look, all your leverage, you can see this as a quarterback, all your leverage is going the opposite way. And again, I don't know if he had that choice he can make, but if you still had to commit to this, all the leverage says go to the weak side of the field.
Or I have an idea.
Like they leverage the strong side hard, but they have the personnel that says go to the weak side.
I have an idea. Motion him here. Hand the fucking ball off. They're all blocking here. Cole Kmet just motioned back in there and go.
It looks even worse when you consider that even looking at the play before it snaps, there's no way in hell this was going to work with the side they wanted to go to.
Oh my God. Now I know the second half got better, but
it did. And he did. Yeah, honestly, they just let Caleb let it fly.
What is the line coach? What's the line coach job over the OC? Waldron, who blame, and who is the line coordinator over the line and what they do? So the O-line coach is friends with Matt Eberflus, and so he kept him on staff when stuff was happening. I thought he has done a good job with the O-line up until this year, but again, people are going to blame the O-line coach, and I get it, but it's also a OC saying this is a system I want to run. But as an O-line guy, you have to kind of tell them, like, hey, like, for example, like our OC loves power. Mm-hmm. And I've had to tell them, like, hey, I just don't know if we have the personnel to run power all the time. I think we can do power read because we have a running quarterback. So those are conversations you have to have. And I don't know what conversations they're having. I'm assuming the O-line coaches probably come in and said, like, hey, we're probably a downhill run. But then you got to look at, we have Swift, who's a zone runner. So do we have to continue to do this and everything else? So I don't know. The fact the entire coaching staff should have been fired before the Caleb pick should have been a clean slate. Yeah, but Eberflus saved
I
his
mean,
job by calling a good defense, and
he's admitting what I was saying to you at the end of the year, but again, you and I, as we've talked, they weren't going to fire him for a 7-10 season. That's improvement.
mhm.
So
we wasted a year.
McCaskies don't do that. So yeah,
We wasted a year of Caleb. Well, it hasn't been a full year yet, so we can't say we've wasted it because we just shown you that this is why I like to blame everybody. The O line made some mistakes there. The running back made some mistakes there. Caleb definitely made some mistakes. And we could sit there and say that he's getting told who to throw to, but then if he's getting told who to throw to, the other wide receivers wouldn't be running these specific routes. They'd be running hitches or slants just because, oh, he's going to throw it there anyway. And so I really we will never know unless we're in the locker room. But from my observation, a quarterback just stares somebody down. The defense is going to figure that out and say, "Oh, we'll just stare at Caleb because he's not going to do this other stuff." Now, in the second half, he started to hit some shots, and
yeah,
Odunze had a great game, and all that stuff. But there are a lot of mistakes by the O line. Obviously, there's a lot of mistakes by play calling. There's a lot of mistakes by Caleb, how the running backs are running the football. So a lot of things I think have to get figured out. But it goes back to I watch this offense, and I know the NFL they want to run all these plays because they can. They're the NFL, but like, what's their identity? Like, who are they as a team? You think about like the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're always going to be a run team and a physical defense. That's just who they are, no matter who they have. You think about the Eagles when they had Peterson as the head coach. You knew they were a play action RPO, some downhill, but a lot of zone stuff. They were going to move the quarterback around, and it was quarterback friendly because who was their quarterback that won the Super Bowl?
Nick Foles, but it was also Carson Wentz, who was the MVP front runner at the time till he was knocked out with injury.
Right. So it was quarterback friendly of how they could do these. You think about the Rams. The Rams are a wide zone team. That's who Sean McVay is. So guess what they practice over and over and over again is wide zone. That's just who they are. And so teams have identities and play action. Sean McVay does play action. He does these things. So they have an identity. With the Seahawks with Russell Wilson, we knew what their identity was. The Bears defense has found their identity. They're fast. They're physical. They're able to stop the run when they need to. They don't flinch on any big plays that happen. They can force turnovers all of a sudden again, which is awesome. The Bears offense does not have an identity. Is it we're a quick game? Is it we're a zone team? Is it, they're just not. And you don't see guards. You don't see any linemen pulling. Like you don't see traps. You don't see power. We're not seeing any GT counter. And I don't know. I don't think NFL you can in college you can live off of zone all day long just because of how the game is. In the NFL, I don't think you can do that. I think you have to mix in all this other stuff. You have to put in a wing back to go block. You have to have a fullback at times. I know fullback is getting phased out a little bit, but I think in the NFL there's still that position. Look at Jim Harbaugh and what he did with Michigan. They ran an NFL style. And they're doing it right now with the Chargers. And I know they just lost, but they're looking better. So I just don't think the Bears have an identity, and that's what's really hurting them right now. What does KC run? Whatever the hell they want.
For real. They do no wrong. Andy Reid is the master of changing things up. But I think just understanding who you have. And now I think we're at the point where like you have 3 weeks of film of Shane, at least through the majority of a game, running the same thing he does every game. And I know we talked, there's other parts to this, but now might be the time to evaluate. And I hate we're back at this again and again. All right, what can we change to simplify and work to that strength?
Yep.
That is there, which, hey, maybe we should see some counter plays again. Maybe we should see some more more up the gut runs. Maybe we do see more Khalil Herbert and Roshan taking snaps from DeAndre Swift. And I think we are moving that way because if we weren't, I wouldn't see Roshan this week. I would see Homer back out there. and they benched him for Roshan because I think they had two of the same person on the field with him and Swift. And I think you need more power and decisive runners right now.
Right. Especially when you're about to play the Rams, where
Yeah.
the Rams defense is not designed anymore to stop the run. You don't have the dudes. So now we're in a similar situation. I think the Rams are better than the Colts.
Oh, they are. I mean, I know that they are banged up, but no, Matthew Stafford is a QB that if you don't get pressure and credit, there is opportunities. I feel even more so this week. He's going to carve that defense up.
Mm-hmm.
He'll get his opportunities.
The Rams defense overall is 32. Their rush defense, they're 30th. Their pass is 29 and their scoring is 31. So they do not defend well against the run.
No.
Just like the Colts.
But again, that comes down to how are we going to play our run game? We have the run game to just basically push and take the clock and take as much yards as possible and be that top run game. But that comes down to how you want to play the game. How do you want to run your game plan? I don't know if they want to run that game plan right now. And I think we're in this like stubborn, almost like Matt Nagy-esque portion of the season right now, where it's like, I'm going to do what I want. And then at the very last moment, you're going to see, God damn it, fine. I'll run this stupid freaking power run, single back or I formation crap because that's what he doesn't want to do. Because it's old school and it's not as, hip and in it with the NFL scene. But if you can't run that stuff, go back to the basics, guys. It works. It's done it the last 2 years.
Right.
So at some point, I think push comes to shove. Maybe it'll be this week where it's a freaking setup.
It's got to be this week.
A freaking soft pitch, if you will. Again, last week was supposed to be too for that.
And again, I'm not mad about passing the ball. I don't hate it.
Oh, no, I'm with you. I'm talking the run game alone. That's all I want to see change.
Right. And again, like some places you go to, as much as you want to change what they are as a history, it kind of comes back to you. Like, what's the Bears known for? Like we've always said, hard-nosed, physical, we're going to punch you in the face defense, and hard-nosed, physical O-line running backs, and we're going to slam this into your face as much as we possibly can, and we're going to live and die by it. And the Bears, that's just who they are. It's cold in Chicago. They're tough. They're blue-collar, whatever, and that's what they want to do. And sometimes you just have to embrace what that is. And Poles is getting a lot of heat right now because of his O-line decisions. I just think the O-line needs time to mesh up. We have a second-year offensive tackle that played in a spread system at Tennessee that was up-tempo. He's got to be able to figure out that. Jenkins is always banged up. Our center position's in question. But I think if they continue to mesh and mold, the Bears have done this the last 2 or 3 years. They start off bad with the O-line, and then as it progresses, you see, people start ranking them top 10. It just always happens.
Yep.
It just looks bad because Justin Fields would always run all the time, and they're like, "Oh, he's running for his life." And I'm like, sometimes he just runs. Caleb Williams is just not. I don't think he's progressing. I don't know the route combinations. I don't know what he's supposed to look at. I'm not going to claim to, but when you watch him stare down somebody and not even move his head for 2 seconds to 3 seconds, to me, that's an issue of, does he know the plays? Is he just not doing what he's supposed to do? Has he been hit too much the last game and now he's thinking too much, that type of thing.
Right, but the second half is what gives me a silver lining that I think it's there, clearly.
It's there. It's definitely there.
Yeah, this game showed me it's there. We just, look, I just think you need a coercive effort to put this stuff together. It can't just be bits and pieces stopping and starting. That's not going to do anything. We're going to be like this all year.
Eberflus is a DC, not a head coach. It's time to change. Caleb doesn't deserve this coaching staff.
And to be fair, I also do not like Eberflus as a head coach. We've talked about this in the past. He's a better coordinator. Mm-hmm. We even saw this too in the 2-point conversion after they scored their first touchdown. Remember they called the timeout just for that?
Oh,
complete waste of time. Like that was I was like, that's another example. Not a great job at getting your guys ready.
And we needed that timeout at the end of the game.
Exactly. If you had that second timeout, we might have had a chance to get a comeback. And no, hindsight's 2020, but still, that's a waste. That's a terrible waste to use on a 2-point conversion.
Right. So I guess to slowly wrap it up, people are talking about two things. They said we didn't even try to get Jim Harbaugh when he was available, where he's quarterback friendly and he's run this pro style offense at Michigan and does a lot of cool things with their offense. They go unbalanced a lot, they'll pull guys, they do a lot of cool things. And then they passed up on Cliff Kingsbury as offensive coordinator because I think the same thing as Cliff Kingsbury as people think of Matt Eberflus. Cliff Kingsbury to me is a better coordinator than he was an NFL head coach because we saw what great things Arizona would do with their offense. It was very creative.
Yeah.
And then just as the head coach stuff progressed, it just didn't work out. As of right now in Washington, he seems to be a good coordinator. Now, time will tell. So I think that part's too early to say, well, we could have got Cliff Kingsbury. But you have to start to wonder, like, could that have been better? Because he played quarterback in college. He played quarterback a little bit in the NFL. He coached Patrick Mahomes in college at Texas Tech. He was at Arizona doing good things until he couldn't. So it just makes you wonder if, that's the route they could have tried. But it would have been so hard to fire Matt Eberflus after that. It's just, you want Jim Harbaugh. But what if you fire Matt Eberflus and then Jim Harbaugh doesn't want to go to the Bears? Like, you're taking a lot of risk. And then it's real shady to go to Jim Harbaugh and say, if we fire him, are you going to take the job? And, all that's very shady work. And if it gets out that you're shady, then people don't want to go there. Like, so a lot of things to think about. So maybe it was the right idea to keep Matt Eberflus. I don't know. It's so easy for us to sit back and say, we could have had Jim Harbaugh. Reports said he would have gone to the Bears. How true are those reports? Like, how true was that to happen? Right. Well, he played for the Bears. So there's no guarantee you would have got him. So I think we need to move on from that stuff and just now the OC part's bothering me because I think you could have got certain guys in. And so I think that part of it is that. And then does Johnson start over Swift eventually? Like, is that going to slowly start happening if he's playing better?
I think you experiment with seeing what better works with the snap counts, and that like I said, I think you have the right 3 running backs out there, but I think the usage needs to be highly debated on who needs to be out more often, who needs to be considered the 1A in this discussion. That's what I want to see at least looked at and evaluated. You have the right 3 running backs now. Good. I think Homer was the one you need to sub out. But if Swift keeps on playing the way he did against Indianapolis and you're seeing Johnson's able to be more decisive and hit the hole, we know Herbert can. It's just unlike the other 2, he can't block for crap. And so that's what we need to find out.
So what do we think's going to happen?
You're talking LA?
Yes. Let's move on from the Colts. I can't believe he lost to Richardson because I don't think he's very good.
That was out of the 4-game stretch. That was probably the second most winnable game besides Tennessee. Not gonna lie.
And
yeah.
And it worries me because LA's not what they used to be. But they are a good coach, tough team. And then now you start to get worried about if we play bad and these things still are happening, then we play the Panthers. Then it's like, what the hell? Can we beat the Panthers? Which we should.
Oh, well, I mean, yes. I'm going to still say yes. Tell you though, Andy Dalton. What
man.
the hell happened with it? Red Rocket?
The Red Rocket used to be a bear for a small stint.
Was the stop of stopgaps for Justin Fields at one point in time.
I have a bad feeling about this Rams game.
I want to look up something really quick because again, LA has taken a beating. Again, Stafford's gotten hit a lot.
He's gotten hit a lot.
They've had a lot of guys that either have gone on IR or have just been off field.
He's only thrown 2 touchdowns in 3 games.
Right.
They lost really bad against the Cardinals, but they did just beat the 49ers.
Well, and again, that was a good effort. 49ers played a really overall decent game there too. Just, Stafford rallied the troops. That's his specialty. He's great at getting these like last minute wins. But let me see here. Matt got hit how many times? Did they keep him off the turf? Well, that's what I'm trying to check. He was sacked 3 times against the against the 49ers.
Yes.
Better than I expected, actually. Given the fact he's been sacked, I believe it was 7 times already in one game this season.
Yeah, he's been hit a lot, and he's not 100%.
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals had a completely different day just 2 weeks ago where it was like all day, every day they were getting back there. They got, let's see, 2 weeks ago, actually only got 1, but they're getting him hit a lot.
But that's the thing, like, getting hit a ton is going to take its toll.
Oh, I know. I know.
The Lions
you gotta get pressure, though. I think this week you have to get it.
The Lions got to him twice.
Yep. Okay, so he's been hit way less. I swore he was sacked 7 times already this season for like one of these games. I must have not heard that right.
Or 7 times total this year. Like he's been sacked.
No, then it's been, it's over that, sure. But yeah, I don't know. I'm looking last week in credit. Colts line doesn't get enough credit. Pretty good protection overall. They did give up that 1 sack that to me should have been a fumble.
Oh my God, what a terrible call.
Yep.
I tweeted that. I was like, you can't even hear the whistle. And then what? I don't know the definition of forward progress anymore then because he was going forward and we ripped the ball out.
Clearly he fumbled that and they let that go. And I'm like, that's a shame. That was a shame. Sorry, I'm stretching right now. So I'm doing this. But yeah, that being said, though, Chicago, I think that you got to have an opportunity to get some pressure. Gonna need to see. And look, it's a little early in the year, but hey, Montez Sweat, where are you, pal?
He was there the first game, and then it has kind of.
I mean, I'm not saying it's already over, but like, we're gonna hit near 1 quarter of the season pretty soon, and kind of quiet for what I was hoping for already.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for the money he's getting paid. Keep that in mind.
So 2 guys were paying a lot of money too.
Johnson's been balling out pretty good this year already. He's as expected living up to that contract. And again, it's early, but I'm keeping an eye on Montez Sweat.
Right.
Like I'm gonna 3 weeks in, been kind of quiet for the most part. A few good tackles, but that's about it.
Yeah, I'm looking at him and Darnell Wright on the offensive line because I think he, being a second-year player, he's going to go up against a decent defensive line and a lot of power on their defensive line. It's not quite Aaron Donald, but it's still that way. And so I know everybody's going to say Caleb Williams and this and that. That's easy. I'm going to look at Darnell Wright and see like, hey, you got bullied around a little bit versus the Colts. You were pushed back a little bit. You're not playing terrible, but that one and Sweat, I think those 2 are going to be guys to look at. Keenan Allen comes back.
Yeah, he's been limited. He's been limited all week. He's probably going to be playing this week.
He won't be 100%, but I think that could hopefully be another safety blanket for Caleb Williams in that. I am happy Cole Kmet finally showed up, got a touchdown pass, and caught a lot of passes, and so that was good to see. If Caleb Williams can just be confident from that second half and building forward, hopefully Matt Eberflus and offensive staff have put their foot down and say, this is maybe what we have to do. And so I think those 2 positions, 2 people to watch, and I think just a group to watch is the running backs. Like, who's going to be the guy carrying the load? And are we finally going to see some powerhouse runs? Like, can we finally see that? But I am nervous, but we did have a comment saying it's a good thing they're playing the Rams at home and not in LA.
That is, LA has been a nightmare fuel venue for Chicago the last 2 to 3 years. Definitely be nice. They're going to be playing in the Windy City. That being said, that's not going to change my prediction. I think LA actually wins this. Even without Nakua or Cup, I do not trust that they are going to be slowed down enough. And I don't trust this Bears offense enough just yet to, unless unless Shane Waldron finally does just early on go, you know what? He surprises me. He changes and plays it to where he sees the weakness and attacks it, which I don't buy fully yet. I'm going to go with the Rams. I'm going to go with the experienced veteran quarterback that is one of the best in the league by many executives' accounts. And I'm going to say, because Chicago's been keeping them low, so I'm going to stay low with the score. I'm going to go 24 to, and they've been one score games most part of this year. So yeah, we'll do 24-17. I'll do that. I think Chicago gets 2 touchdowns. They'll be later in the second half. Probably struggle to get going like they've been going unless things change up. But 24-17 Rams, I'll take it. We start 1-3.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one that was picking LA. I didn't want to, but Matthew Stafford knows the Bears from his Lions days. He knows what it's going to take. I feel bad for the Bears defense because they're playing a lot on the field. They're putting a lot of pressure on them, which they can handle, but over time, can they keep it up? Sean McVay versus Matt Eberflus is going to be fun to watch. You know, Sean McVay's a great offensive mind.
Might also show some deficiencies in the coaching again.
Right.
Because that very much seems a lopsided coaching affair on paper.
Right. But I'm curious to see Matt Eberflus's defensive paralysis or, his expertise versus his offense.
I think that's going to be the best part of the day is watching to see, hey, does this Bears offense hold up to these changes? Yep. You know, if you can slow down Stafford, you can have a winnable game, but I just don't trust that.
Which the Bears have always put our offense in good spots, so it's been tough. The Rams have not scored a lot this year, so I don't think they're going to score a lot on this Bears defense. I think it'll be a low scoring. I'm going to flip the score like with the Colts. Rams 21, Bears 16. Just to put a random one out there, 21-16. It's just going to be flip-flopped. I do think we'll get down and get a field goal. You know, we always seem to do that, and we do struggle coming out of the gate. And, you know, and it depends. If we're in a run game and we're battling, we might have a shot. But if we're going to do this 52 passing again in the Windy City, I don't think that's the right way to go with this team. I know you got DJ Moore. I know you got Odunze that you could throw it up to. But to help them get open, you got to get the run game going. They've got to do some things. And I think that just helps them get open. We saw with play action, they get open. And
George does make a point here as we finish up. Not going to lie, Stafford, you know, he's good for an interception here too every game, every once in a while for a game.
Which we're not disagreeing. Like we said, the defense will put us in a good spot. It's can the offense capitalize?
Right. I mean, he takes risks. So you wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked if you see at least one. He takes those risks in the passing game. So
I think you and I both 100% agree to that. It's just getting turnovers is exciting, but then we get less excited when we're like, okay, can the offense?
That's how it's been for 3 weeks. You know, credit sans Titans win, but like that's the thing. Turnovers, cool. Do I trust that my offense actually can do something with this?
Yep.
Because they're not points. They're possession changing. Great. Do I get points though?
Right. Even field goals at this moment, like just get us something.
For real.
At this point, just get something.
Just something. Just a little something.
And then the last question then before we end it, because we've been on here a while. If we do lose, is it time to hit the title of this is it time to hit the panic button?
Yeah.
I don't think we hit the panic button yet. We're getting close, but if we lose this game, are people's fingers now on the button? They're not pushing it, but is it there to push?
Yeah, one of my worries with this season, and it was brought up earlier by Ryu Ken there, or as his username is, was that, you know, are you hiring a coach, or are you hiring do you have a hired coach and you're drafting a quarterback, and for the third straight time, are you going to do a one and done regime and reset with this same concept? And, you know, I don't think we hit the panic button after this week, but I mean, I think you're going to be under the microscope moving forward, because one thing that's much like last year is the first 4 games I felt are tough opponents, even with Tennessee being a little bit weaker.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about this when we started the year. You and I thought it was going to be a rough sledding. If they could get to 2-2, then they're making out pretty okay. Right now, there's that chance to do it. If they're 1-3, okay, not the worst thing in the world, but still could have ended better. Lost an opportunity against Indianapolis, probably. Then you got somewhat of a padded out next few weeks schedule. The division games are what really are going to make or break, I think, if we see some mud get flown and time to ship some certain personnel on the coaching staff out the door.
Which the Bears never do. The Bears never do.
They never fire midseason, so don't ask for it. They're going to ride out the year. They always do it. So no reason to go into that insanity in theory, because they've proven time and time again, they wait. It's how they do all the time.
And it might be worse if they do decide to fire people, and it might just make it worse. You know what I mean? Like, at least it sucks. Just keep them there till the end of the year and just ride it out if we get to that point. Because I think if you fire the head coach and fire the OC, and then you got these assistant coaches now stepping in. Now, sometimes it's proven to work, but you will have the possibility of just, if you blow it up, it's going to be worse than what's happening.
Right. That's exactly right.
No, lose to the Panthers. Lose to the Panthers, the whole thing falls down. Yeah,
I think that's what he was meaning.
That's going to be the key. If we lose to the Panthers, I think then we're going to burn. The city will get burned down.
Yeah, I mean, we would be in the clown show status. You know, I mean, the Raiders kind of, they probably got a soft blow because, like, what the hell happened? Whiplash. 2 weeks ago, you beat the Ravens, but you lose to freaking Carolina.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what's going on with them, but that's a whole different thing. But I think that would not look good because, again, after this, so you get the middle part of your year is a little softer. You know, it's the final like third of the year when all of its division games, and now we all of a sudden have one of the most competitive division. What the hell's with Minnesota, Steve? How did the Vikings become this already? Like, I didn't think we'd be worrying about them. I predicted 3 teams from the North. That's not the third team I was expecting that might be doing this.
How are they doing this? How are the Packers doing this?
That's just, you know what? That's just a good organization. I hate even saying it. Oh, the only reason that happens is you have good coaching there that allows for that to happen.
The Vikings, I thought, would be number 4. I really did.
That's what I thought too. Sam Darnold is all of a sudden being like, nah, I'm going to play myself to a contract, whether it's here or elsewhere. We're just going to do that this year.
I thought it was going to be Lions, Packers, Bears, not Vikings.
That's so crazy.
Now it's Lions, Vikings, Packers, Bears. Like,
wild.
What the hell's going on?
I don't want to talk about it anymore. I got into it. Minnesota looks good. And specifically too, defensively. Offense is one thing. They've been fantastic, but defensively, it's like, what? And then people seem to forget, even though Aaron Jones is like in his early 30s, that he's still fantastic when he's not hurting his hamstring.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, I'm done. I got to get off. Yeah. I got to get off.
Well, thanks everybody watching or listening. Like and subscribe. We'll be back to talk about the Bears Rams at some point. Hopefully it's a win. Vikings will get it figured out, just a matter of time. Yeah, I know.
Fingers crossed. I hope so.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys next time.